afternoon. Hope you are all well. As it always comes in this beginning part of the... Hang on, I'm pressing the buttons and nothing's happening. There we go. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream to our YouTube chat. Yeah. Start again. Please.
Tell you what, I didn't have this problem last night.
I watched it. Really? You looked like you was drowning, mate. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. And talking of support, ladies and gentlemen, Forge from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. There you go. You know it makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we are here to discuss all things pertaining to Matchday 9 and 38 in the Premier League. West Ham United taking on Fulham at London Stadium. Duke, your thoughts, please.
Must win. It's one of them, as I said to Steve last night. It's a question of our European hangover, Rob, and it has been for for the last season now, season and a bit, with our European adventures last year, and obviously the same again this season. And we have looked ropey coming off of the back of European games, so especially away from home. But for me, tomorrow is definitely a must win. It's one of them games where we cannot afford to get less than 3 points, in my opinion.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we're playing, with all due respect to Fulham, and anyone that knows my family history know that I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Fulham as a football club, but they're a team that's just been promoted. They really are a team that we should be taking care of at home. We're a team that have, and I'm not being big-headed, I'm not trying to sort of put Fulham Football Club down, but they're coming up against a team that have finished 7th and 6th in the last 2 seasons, got to a European semi-final. We've spent £180 million in the transfer window. We're the home team. I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation that this should be 3 points up. No ifs, no buts as far as I'm concerned.
Larry, good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
Hope you're well, mate. Although I said hello to you earlier, didn't I?
I've just been polite. How about you?
Of course.
Just because you've got a secret.
Don't know about that.
Mm.
Anyway. Is there any sort of like they lost their last outing though? They got done 4-1 by Newcastle. Yes, they were not helped by the sending off of Nathaniel Chalobah very early in the match. Their main striker Alex Mitrovic was taken off with an ankle injury. It was actually 4-1, Larry.
No, currently 3-1 Newcastle.
Sorry. I thought you was talking about the Fulham game.
No.
Sorry.
Right.
they were quite bad. They were quite sort of like handily beaten. So we should be looking at this. Like I say, it should be. We're coming off the back of a win. They're coming off of the back of a heavy defeat. Surely we should be getting all three
Listen,
here.
I
So
start of the season, Rob. I said they were playing Liverpool and afternoon James playing Liverpool and Richard. I missed that one. And I honestly thought Liverpool would walk away with it. I'm now looking at this Fulham side, and yes, they're this season's Norwich. I'm not, sadly, I'm working. They're this season's Norwich, where last season Norwich were last season's Fulham, if you know what I mean. It just seems to be one or the other every season. They just seem to swap places. I'm not quite in mourning, Ken. I did like some of her songs. Used to listen to her songs a while ago, and did have a couple on the day she passed. R.I.P. Loretta. No, with regards to Fulham, they're a pain in the arse, Rob. They're one of them teams. They show up when they really need to against against a good side. They seem to, like I say, start the season against Liverpool, turned up and made it difficult for Liverpool. They can make it difficult for us, but again, these are the games that we should be winning if we want to move up the table and we want to we want to qualify for Europe via our league position again, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Let's have a look at the officials, shall we? So we've got the referee is Chris Kavanagh. His assistants are Dan Cook and Dan Robathan. The fourth official is Robert Jones. The VAR is Michael Salisbury. The assistant VAR is Steve Meredith. Now, I don't know about you, Duke. I've heard of Chris Kavanagh and I've heard of Robert Jones and I've heard of Michael Salisbury, but they're sort of like lower end Premier League officials, it seems to me. They're not the sort of like the Michael Olivers of this world or names of that ilk there. And I'm looking at that and going, oh God, that could
You
be
know what?
interesting.
I look at it the other way, Rob. I look at
Okay.
it that we haven't got one of these pain in the arse, top six loving
Maybe.
cod pieces that are sitting there. These are not the jockstrap officials, as I like to call them, the ones that do have a kind of love affair with the guys in the top six, top seven, if you include Newcastle now. So it's refreshing to see some different referees, different officials, shall I say?
Yeah, fair enough. Right, I am gonna get. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, quietly, Robert,
I've
please.
got a bit of a cough. It's not COVID, I promise. So, just before we go on, Kent's just popped in. Costa just come off of Chelsea and walked all the way around the pitch, taking the acclaim from Chelsea fans
Rightly so. I would have done the same thing as well.
while wearing a shirt of another team.
Doesn't matter. He still gave that. Listen. You say that, right? But really no different than Tevez when he came out at Upton Park wearing a Man United shirt, stood in the middle of the pitch and did the crossed irons. For me, it's a respect thing. He's walking around the pitch, and basically the Chelsea fans giving him a chance to say thank you for what he did. Obviously, they didn't get the chance to do that once he walked away. So I've got a lot of time for that, to be honest with you. I have got a lot of time for that.
I probably don't mind it after the game. Oh, he's coming off as a sub, whatever. Providing he's put it in on the pitch. If he's sort of like swanned around and not put it in, I don't know the context of it.
I mean,
But if he's
listen,
come off the pitch,
guys in his guys about the same age as you now, Rob. I think he's in his 70s, so it's there's only so much he's only so much he can really give now. So being in your late 70s like you are, you can obviously relate to that, I guess.
shall we get into the teams?
Yeah, go on. Let's see what you got.
Right. Okay. Right. This is
Um,
what I suspect that David Moyes is going to run with. Whether I think he should or shouldn't is neither here nor
yeah,
there. But I suspect it will be Fabianski in goal. Ariola pulled off a magnificent save. We know that. Absolutely top draw. But Fabianski's not put a foot wrong when he's been called upon. So I don't really see that he's going to get dropped from the Premier League starting lineup. Back four will be Tilo Kehrer at right back, Aaron Cresswell at left back, Kurt Zuma and Craig Dawson, who I thought gave a little bit more solidity to the back line since he's come in. It will be the centre-back partnership. Declan Rice will have the captain's armband. Now, this is the bit where I'm quite torn because I actually thought that Thomas Souček had a decent game against Wolves. But I think that Flynn Downs had an even better game against Anderlecht. So I think it's
that's your
quite
problem,
harsh
isn't it?
that if Flynn Downs would find himself on the bench. But I think that's precisely what's going to happen. I think it will be Thomas Souček that will start. The three that plays ahead of them, well, Bowen is a shoe-in, Paqueta's a shoe-in. It's who's going to play on the left. Well, Cornet's out. So is it going to be Ben Rama? Is it going to be Fornals? Is it going to be even possibly Michael Antonio? I've gone with Fornals. I think it will be his work rate that will do the job for David Moyes. It will tick that box for him. Ben Rama disappointed against Anderlecht. I've gone into the reasons I think that are behind it. I don't think all of it is necessarily Ben Rama's fault. He has to take responsibility for his side of the equation, but I do think that David Moyes is culpable as well. Like I say, you could make the argument for Michael Antonio to start on the left, but the problem with that is that if you're going to start with Skamaka as the nine, as I think David Moyes will, if you're going to have Antonio on the left, well, who's your impact substitute? Antonio is exactly that. So he will be the impact substitute. Fornals, I think, will be on the left. But Duke, please feel free to pick that apart at your leisure. You've never sounded better, actually. You've never sounded better. And you're speaking more sense than you normally do. Brilliant.
I'm on mute because the amount of bloody sirens that are flying around. Here come another one. And also, yes and no with what I'm seeing in front of me. Um, Rob only wishes he was 34, Kent.
It was
You're back
34
for.
once.
You're back for. Yes, I don't see. I'd see. Listen, I see him actually going with Rice, Paqueta, and Downs as a midfield three.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually see Rice sitting or Downs sitting, Paqueta and Rice a little bit further forward. There come more sirens. Something's going on out there today. And
Welcome to Lewisham.
I actually think you're right with what you've got in the top area there. Was having a conversation actually with someone in the pub during the Anderlecht game, and I did say
What?
Antonio being,
No, I'm just looking at this comment from Cyber. Is Downs fit? He can play right wing?
could he? I don't want him to.
No. No, he can't. No. He's a defensive mid Cyber. He can't play right
I
wing.
actually, if listen, if he wants to play Antonio, which is his, is his entitlement because he's the manager. I agree there. It would be harsh to drop Souček, but you've got to think bigger picture. I'd actually have Bowen on the left, Antonio on the right.
Say that
Yes.
again. You'd have who?
I'd have Bowen on the right, on the left, and Antonio on the right. I know what you're saying
Really?
about, I know what you're saying about an impact sub, but again, you can have Bowen out there on that right hand side, left hand side, being able to swing crosses in. Got Antonio being out there on the right and being a bully. I can see it. I can see it. But I mean, listen, if he puts that lineup out, I wouldn't be amiss. I would like to see Downs because I think Downs is a bloody good player, and I think Downs deserves to be in the starting lineup in the Premier League. I also like to see Areola bloody start in the Premier League, but hey, that's it's neither in or there.
Has Fabianski done anything that would make it justifiable for him to be dropped?
No, but you don't spend the most money on a goalkeeper. The most money spent on a goalkeeper in the last 3 to 5 years, I believe, that we have, to just have this guy being your cup goalkeeper and and your backup in the Premier League. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But that's me. I mean, hey ho.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. It is a little bit odd that we've spent all this money on a guy that's not our first choice goalkeeper in the Premier League. But then, if Areola's happy with that, I mean, presumably he signed on the dotted line knowing what was ahead of him, that he was probably going to be, unless anything happened, he was going to be the same as last season. You're going to be used in the Conference League.
Yeah.
You're going to be used in the FA Cup. You're going to be used in the League Cup. If and when Fabianski is either injured, suspended, or has a massive drop in form that necessitates him being dropped from the first starting 11 in the Premier League, then that particular modus operandi might change. But at the minute, like I say, I don't think Fabianski's done anything dreadfully wrong to justify being dropped. Simon, hope you are well.
Hey.
Just wanted to jump on and say hi. It feels like it's been a while. Just listening to his beloved Chelsea commentary, so won't stop too long. That's fine, Simon, not a problem. Thanks for stopping by.
Trudge, leave off. We are.
Oh Jesus! No, I don't even want to discuss that individual. I'm hoping that I probably shouldn't say this on a live stream. I've had a word with certain people, and they're not people that you want to muck about with. Let's just leave it like that. I know certain people. I know certain people, and it may well be that he's going to be propping up a sort of like a flyover somewhere out in the Yorkshire Dales, I believe. But anyway, that's a rumor. Anyway, I'm going to show you now what I think will be the Fulham lineup. So it will be Bernd Leno in goal, who obviously we know from his time as the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Good keeper.
Yes, indeed. It will be 4-2-3-1 in all likelihood. Now, as I said earlier, there was a couple of changes that were going to be afoot for this particular game because it's very unlikely, I think, that Mitrovic will start. I mean, there's a possibility, but I don't think so. I think it will probably be, I think Tim Ream will be shifted across to left back. He will be the captain. Issa Diop coming in. Yeah, there you go. Issa Diop coming in, hopefully to the heart of their defence. Do you know what? He'll probably come in if he plays. He'll probably play really well against us.
Won't he? You know he will.
Have. You know how it works. You've seen it so many times. He'll be partnered by Adar Bio, whatever his name is, Tosin. There we go. And the right back will be Mbabu. The double pivots will be Palhinha and Harrison Reed. Bobby Decordova-Reid on the left, Niskans Cabano on the right, Andreas Pereira in the central position, and Vinicius as the number 9. Duke, when you look at that 11, is there anyone there that really strikes fear into your heart, or do you just look and go, that should be fairly
I'll tell you
routine,
what, it's not that it strikes fear into my heart. What it is there's a couple of players that I do admire.
Diop?
No, both Reeds. I do admire both Reeds. Is it Decordova-Reid on the left there, and is it Harrison Reed, the midfielder?
Yep.
I like those. I like those players. And since Vinicius or whatever his fucking name is up top again, I'm impressed by them. So it's not that they strike fear. It's not that I'm it's not that they worry me in any way, shape, or form. I like them and admire them as players, and yeah, I'd be quite happy to have either of them in our squad. To be fair,
Fair, fair. I've just seen your message, Cyber. I will check it after we've finished. What's it? Happy Chew. Oh, he's sending you messages as well. Bloody hell. What's going? Has he sent you a message as well?
no, I'm free of.
Oh God,
I'm
I don't know
free
whether
of.
that's good news or bad news. They don't have flyovers in Yorkshire. They mainly have mainly rolling hills and dry stone walls. That'll do. That'll do, Ken. That'll do. Anyway, so that is what I suspect the starting lineup is. I'm just going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get the banner rolling again. So, Duke, who's the where's the key battles do you see? I mean, is it the usual place? Is it central mid, or do you see possibly Jared Bowen versus Tim Ream being an interesting battle that might be unfolding at London Stadium tomorrow? Where do you see the battle lines drawn?
Listen, I think they're going to have their hands full with Skamaka. They're going to have their hands full with Bowen. I just, if I'm honest, I don't see how they can nullify those two. To be honest,
Hmm.
yeah, I agree with Trudge there. Put Dawson on corners. I think it's going to be one in the aerial battle, Rob. Be that from open play, be that from corner kicks, free kicks. I think it's our aerial presence that I think will be good.
Fair enough. So let's get on to the score predictions then, Duke. How's this? How do you think this game's going to play out? What's the final score? And you guys in the live chat get stuck in with this as well.
I actually think we're going to have. I think we're going to go 3-0 in this, Rob. It'll be a West Ham 3-0. I think you'll see Skamaka bag a brace, and I think you'll see Bowen grab the other one.
Okay, I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0. I think it will be. I actually think this will be a follow on from our last two games where I think we've been the better team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying for a moment that we were absolutely dominant and all the rest of it. But I do think that in the last two games, we have been the better team. And I just see that our confidence is starting to sort of like be on the upturn. I see that Paqueta and Skamaka, there's the beginnings of an understanding between those two. Brazil's number 10, Italy's number 9, and we've got them in claret and blue. And they're now starting to get to know each other's games. They're Paqueta knows the runs that Skamaka's going to be making. Skamaka knows the sort of balls that Paqueta's going to be putting through to him. They're starting to get on each other's wavelengths. And I think that this could be a turning point in our season. If we can get 2 successive Premier League wins with in between those 2 wins, you've also got the Anderlecht win as well. Then I think that this could be a turning point in the season. I really do.
Yeah, people have said the same, Rob. I mean, most people I've spoken to that have come in the pub have said they think we've turned the corner. We look like we've come out the other side of that shitty little start. So yeah, it's. But I do agree with what you said there. I mean, I mentioned it last night. If you see the goal against Anderlecht that Skamaka scores, he takes 2 glances at where the goalkeeper is and where he is in relation to the far post. And he's already on his bike as the ball's played into Paqueta. And Paqueta knew exactly where he was going to be. The understanding, the link, the everything. It looks wonderful, and that little touch where he sticks his leg behind his, sticks his foot behind his leg, and he's off the floor. Control. Paqueta looks the real deal. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke's put in a complaint. He wants to hear more about Fulham.
Go on the Fulham
They're
channel.
Cottagers. Make of that what you will.
Go on the Fulham channel.
Yeah.
Haaland's bagged again. That's my betting.
Has he got 2 now? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Do you reckon we could have signed him?
I mean, listen, no.
No, what would have happened? We discussed this because I did a quick live stream, Talk West Ham, and we just had a little chat, and there was a quiz that I did, and just because I could, I was like, fuck it, why not? Wasn't doing anything else, and I turned around and said, because one of the discussion points we was talking about was this thing about Vlasic. It looks like that he's going to be signed by Torino for 13 million, despite the fact we spent, if you believe it.
No, we did not.
Whatever.
Don't start with a.
We're probably going to lose money on him, though, aren't we?
Listen, no, we're not, because we only paid $3.5 million, because he came from one of the clubs where we didn't have to finalise the payment for the rest of it because of whatever was going on with regards to the war in Ukraine. So as far as I'm aware, we've only paid £3.5 million for him, Rob. What I will... Oh, he's only scored 1. Oh, for fuck's sake. He needs to get his finger out in the last 10 minutes.
He's lazy.
So we've only paid $3.5 million. Please don't start feeding the wild animals that like to come on here every now and again and start banging on about the fact that he was a £38 million man. And
no. I know that
this bollocks that they like to that they like to spout, because it's not true. So you know, it was, as far as I'm aware, I'll have to do a little bit more of a research, but as far as I was aware, it was only £3.5 million that we actually paid before the war in Ukraine started, which then meant we didn't have to pay any more for him. So as far as I'm aware, that's it. And Happy, stop feeding the wild animals. I've told you.
No need for it. Just looking at that one, just to bring your attention, I've been putting up the little factoids as I go, and the people at home can just read it as they see fit rather than me reading it out. But I just want to draw your attention to this one. The 2 oldest average starting 11s in the Premier League will clash tomorrow. So there'll be Zimmer frames and walking sticks all over the place. It'll be like coming round to your place.
No, it's... I love that. The oldest average. There's still only 28, Rob. Like, what's that? Like, a couple of years ago, that was about 34. Let's not mess around. Vlasic was 150 million, the way some people go on about it. Yeah, you'd think so, Luke. You really would.
Yeah, no, it was... I'll say, I don't know whether we're going to ultimately pay 27, whether we're ultimately going to pay 15 or whatever. But 13 million is apparently what the deal is in place for Torino. And I just sort of said, do you know what? We would have probably bought Haaland and we'd have probably lost him at a loss. We're the only team that could have done something like that.
We're the only team that could have turned Haaland into a non-goal scoring striker.
Yeah. Everybody's saying he's a robot. Yeah. He'd have come to West Ham and he'd have been a robot that no one switched on.
Yeah, agreed.
So there you go. Any final thoughts, observations? Because I'm mindful of the fact that you've got to dash off to funnier climes.
Yeah, that'll be fun. There's part of me that's like, well, I'm too old for this shit, Rob. Where I'm going, I'm too old for this shit. Hang on
a sec, Cyber. Good luck with that. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, let us know what you're doing, mate, and we'll plug it. All that bullshit. Steve, stop feeding the animals. And Happy's age. Bullshit. What you've got to understand there, Happy, is I've seen you up close and I've seen those wrinkles in the crow's feet.
No, right. if she's referencing herself to 28, the only thing that she's 28 is 28 inches tall. Sorry, you know. What can I say? She knows I love her, really. But anyway, yeah. So, any final thoughts before we knock it on the head, old chap?
No, it's as I said at the start, it's a must-win game. not for anything else other than to keep this little bit of form going. It's true, we do. Yes. I've not been attacked by a pygmy yet, so we'll have to wait and see. No, must win. I'd like to think that we've got it in us to keep this run of form going. It's been quite nice. So yeah, just that's all I've got really.
Fair. Cyber's asking, do you remember Brainiac on TV?
I do.
I
Yes.
don't think I ever watched it, but I'm aware of it.
Rob was in his 40s when that came out, so he probably wouldn't have watched it.
Behave yourself. Right, before you disappear though, Larry. Well, actually, no, this next bit probably isn't really that much of an interest to you, and I'll tell you guys for why. Before we depart, I've got two little pieces of information for you. As you're probably aware, I was at an event yesterday at the Rusk Club, and it was a very good evening. It was the 1975 FA Youth Cup winning squad, or most of them, which was put together by E13 Events. Ian does a fantastic job on his events. Well, the next event he's got is at the same venue, the Rusk Club, on Friday the 4th of November. Now, as of last night, there were still tickets available for this. So if any of you guys on the 4th of November think that you could get to Romford, then why not? Have yourself a little consideration of this. You've got Marlon Harewood, you've got Tony Cotty, you've got friend of the channel, David Cross, Trevor Morley and Brian Deere, a strikers evening. Part 1, I believe part 2, Ian is going to be doing, I don't know if it was March or May next year, but whatever. Next year will be part 2. If you're after a ticket, then there's the phone number. You can either call or text Ian on 07958 472 847, and tickets are £20 per person, and it's well worth it, I've got to tell you. Now, there is another one that I'm going to plug, if I may. This is Mandeville Promotions, and this is Len Herbert, friend of the channel. Their next event is actually Friday, but that's all sold out. That's an evening with McAvenny and Cotty. But this is the one that they've got on Friday the 2nd of December. Now, this is a big one. So this is going to cost you a little bit more, but it's really good value for money, actually, if you stop and think about it, because it's an evening at the Hilton Hotel by Tower Bridge, and it's as many of the squad as they could fit into the event. It's the 30th anniversary of the promotion season of 92-93. You've got Ludo McCloskey, Clive Allen, Tony Gale, Trevor Morley, Tim Breaker, Martin Allen, Kenny Brown Jr., George Parris, David Speedy, Steve Jones, Julian Dix, Matty Holmes, and Kevin Keane, all confirmed. Now, this is 99 quid, but bear in mind, guys, two things. All of those, well, a couple of things. All of those names, Hilton Hotel by Tower Bridge, 3-course a la carte meal, 99 quid. I don't think that's too bad value for money if you actually sort of like put all of those things into the melting pot. That's actually pretty decent. So if that sounds like something you might want a piece of, you've got there Mandeville Promotions. You can go to that address right there, www.tickettailor.com/events/Mandeville Promotions Limited. And I might see you there. You never know.
Might be on the might have to be on the cards. It's going to have to be a black tie event there, Rob.
Yeah, I think I might sort of go.
Can't rock up in my Falls from Iron t-shirt.
Yeah, I think I would definitely be sort of putting on having a shave at the very minimum, and probably a little splash of Brute.
Shave, you've got a face like a baby's bum.
I have at the minute.
Elephant, granted, it's a baby elephant, but baby hippo.
Unbelievable. I just come here for the company. You know, I don't mind being insulted. Yeah, I mean, Steve, it's a good night out. Honestly, it's a good laugh. Romford's a 10-minute drive from you. The only shame is, Cyber, you don't drive.
It's true.
He gets buses and trains everywhere. He loves it. He loves it. Public transport. Food in Hilton is great. Well, it bloody well wants to be for the money I'm shelling out. I'm actually staying overnight as well. It's my Christmas and birthday present. No, Mike Small. I don't know whether I should say this, but there is someone else that I know isn't coming to that event, and I probably shouldn't say, but I found out completely by accident, and I don't know whether I might have put my foot in it. But
Private chat me.
yeah. I don't know if I might have gone, oh shit, oh dear. Well, anyway, one of those things. Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, last little bit of business to attend to is the following, if you wouldn't mind. Forge from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Try and help out if you can. It would be a fantastic thing if we can try and push this one along. So, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for us to bid you a fond farewell, but please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Duke, what are we, mate?
Massive. Absolute. In fact, hang on.
He's got the beanie hat just to prove it. West Ham are massive everywhere we go.
There you go.
Come on, you Irons.
Ha 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 ha!